My husband went on vacation with his girl bestie. So my fiancé Julian just texted me asking if we can meet for dinner tonight because he needs to discuss wedding expectations, and it's important. The same Julian who spent the last 6 weeks planning a month-long trip to Thailand with his female best friend Sienna, framing our upcoming marriage as him losing his freedom and needing one last adventure before settling down. Yeah, that Julian. I'm sitting here staring at my engagement ring wondering what fresh nightmare he's about to drop on me tonight, because if the last 6 weeks have taught me anything, it's that every conversation with him lately ends with me questioning my sanity. Because honestly, after listening to him quote Sienna's relationship wisdom like she's some kind of guru, after finding their secret text threads calling me jealous and controlling, after watching him book this entire escape with another woman 2 months before our wedding, I'm starting to think this dinner is going to be the breaking point. Let me explain how we got here because I need to process this before I walk into whatever he has planned for tonight. 6 weeks ago, Julian came home from Sunday brunch with Sienna and announced they'd been having a really important conversation about our future. His energy was weird, nervous but excited, like someone about to pitch an idea they know is controversial. I was folding wedding RSVPs at the dining table, checking off names of people who'd be watching us get married in just 2 months, when he sat down across from me with this serious expression. He said Sienna had opened his eyes to something he'd been feeling but couldn't articulate. That marriage is forever, and forever is a really long time. And before he committed to forever, he needed to make sure he knew who he was as an individual. Because once we got married, he'd be locked into family obligations and responsibilities and routines, and he'd never have another chance to just be spontaneous and free and himself. He needed one last trip before the wedding. 1 month in Thailand with Sienna, to find himself before he lost himself in marriage. I sat there with a stack of RSVPs in my hand, cards from people who'd already bought plane tickets and booked hotels to watch us promise forever to each other, and stared at him. I asked if this was a joke. He said no, he was completely serious. Sienna takes these freedom trips with all her friends before they get married, and she'd been explaining to him how crucial it is for his mental health and our future relationship. That the strongest marriages are between two people who know themselves as individuals first. I asked why he couldn't take a trip with his guy friends, or why we couldn't take a trip together before the wedding. He said his guy friends would just want to party and wouldn't give him space for real self-reflection. And taking a trip together would defeat the entire purpose. He needed distance from us to figure out if he was truly ready for us to become permanent. He needed to experience life without me to make sure he wanted life with me. The way he said it made our engagement sound like a mistake he needed to verify before it was too late. Like proposing had been impulsive and now he needed to check his work. When I pointed that out, he got defensive and said I was being dramatic. That engagement is just a promise, but marriage is legally binding, and it's actually really mature of him to want to make sure he's mentally prepared. That most people don't have the self-awareness to recognize their needs before it's too late. Over the next few weeks, the arguments were constant. Every conversation circled back to his trip. He'd already started planning with Sienna. I'd overhear their